Well, we are back for our leg day and had a little spanner thrown in the works yesterday. We ended up waking up feeling pretty shitty, bit of a cold, and just like the usual aches and pains. So we ended up kind of playing it safe, taking the day off, and thought we'll just make up for it and come in, train legs today, arms tomorrow, and then obviously just go straight into next week without having a day in between. So probably glad that we did that because honestly we woke up feeling a lot better today, and obviously hopefully because we've done that we're able to still get in a relatively good leg day. So we might change it up a little bit today and just go off how we feel because obviously our respiratory systems are a little slower still, but with that being said, we'll just take it as it comes, and we can just make some changes on the fly if needed, but otherwise let's get stuck into it. I I think we'll just stick to straight sets today. No drop sets or anything like that. Just try and get through as best we can and don't bury ourselves too much. We'll yeah, we'll take it down just a little bit for that third one and try and squeeze out a few more reps and then we'll move on. That's it. Can definitely tell that the recoverability's down slightly, but that's all right. Let's call it here. We'll go on. We'll see how the squats move, and if they're not too bad, we'll run them. If not, we might just sub them out today and just continue on with the rest of it. Well, we wrapped up those squats just after those 2 sets. But honestly, they weren't bad sets given the circumstance, so they did leave us pretty fucked though. So we just decided to call it after those two, and onto these Bulgarians now. Again, we're just keeping it sort of not taking it right to a failure, because obviously that's just going to dig a hole that is pretty hard to get out of, whilst in a slightly sort of beaten up or weakened state. So we'll just keep it probably 2 sets of these again, and then onto the leg press, and we might just run everything at 2 sets and slightly reduce volume just to aid the recovery process a little bit, so that this kind of doesn't drag on for too long, and we can be back into the swing of things relatively quick. Well, unfortunately, we had to call that leg day short. After those Bulgarians, we kind of just hit a brick wall where we were really kind of struggling, even just to be able to like sort of breathe and recover in between sets, because the obviously the cold had kind of done its job and affected our respiratory system. So we were a little beat down in that aspect. And I mean, it probably didn't help that we still pushed those 2 sets of squats relatively hard. But hey, you don't know that stuff until you try it, do you? So we gave it our best shot, and unfortunately it wasn't meant to be, but I guess that's just part and parcel of being sick. Like, these things happen, and obviously there's going to be times where things don't always go your way, and you have to take an extra day or two off. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. This will actually be filmed the day after legs, because obviously once we got home from legs, we were pretty much spent for the rest of that day. We definitely kind of ran ourselves into the ground a little bit, but that's obviously something now that we can learn from. And if we come across this situation again, we'll be a little bit more sort of in tune with the way that we're feeling, and we can maybe even just take an extra day off and don't even bother trying to go in there and train, because in reality, I don't actually think that taking that extra day off is actually going to do any sort of detriment to the training at all. If anything, looking back at it now, it probably would have been more positive, because obviously we're banking on today, taking the full day off, no training. We'll just do some basic cardio, or not even cardio really, but just get outside, get some sun, get some steps in, just kind of get the body moving. And fingers crossed, we are back up and running at full capacity tomorrow to start the week off. But with that being said, I think this is like a valuable lesson that anyone can sort of learn from, really, is that sometimes you just got to take that day off and deal with it. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's just one of those little things that it happens. You know, that's just part of life. Fucking when you're pushing hard, obviously your body's bound to start to get tired and kind of break down, and then obviously these things can happen where your immune system's probably not as kind of effective as it could have been. I mean, given that we just did a pretty hard 14-week diet and pushed the body pretty hard, so we were probably already slightly kind of fatigued in that aspect. But in all honesty, it's just one of those things, you just got to try and sort of not let it affect you too much. Just be like, you know what, fuck it. It's a good excuse to have an extra day or two off. Just get some rest in. Just let the body kind of recover a little bit more. And maybe even like on those kinds of days, you can kind of plan some other stuff, You can sort of reevaluate your training, think, okay, what were we doing? Like, was that working? Have we got some good gains out of that? Maybe you can change up a few things, but it's just one of those things, like if you look at the positive side of it rather than the negative, it'll certainly be a lot easier to kind of to deal with, and you won't feel so down about it. Because obviously, for people like us who we like going to the gym, it's like part of our life. It makes us feel good. Obviously, these situations are a little bit like oh fuck, like can't go train. But hey, it's only like 1 or 2 days at the most. I mean, if you get sick for longer than that, obviously it's something that you can't control anyway. So there's no real point in kind of getting too beat down about it. But in saying that, we'll take today off, rest up, just do some basic stuff, and obviously we kind of miss legs, but that's all right. We can just wait until next week and make sure we give them a good job. But obviously today would have been our arm day, so instead of trying to go in and train that, what we'll do is we'll just split the bicep and tricep work up. Obviously we start the week on a chest day, so we'll just tack some triceps on the end of that, because obviously we're already kind of in a pressing movement, and get a slight tricep stimulus whilst doing chest, so we can just add those extra like skull crushers and shit onto the end of the chest day. And then the following day is our back day, so after we finish all our back stuff, we can just run our few sets of biceps that we have there, and then that way we caught up that extra day of arms that we missed, plus then we'll still get the arms at the end of next week as well. So in all reality, we only missed kind of half a leg day, which if I'm to be honest, being able to only miss kind of half a workout whilst being sick is definitely a win in my book. So without dragging on too much more, we'll just cut it here, and fingers crossed we're back up and running tomorrow, and we can really get stuck into this bulk and see how far we can push it. Because if I know one thing, it's that this kind of stuff only makes me more sort of like hungry for it and wanting to come back better, and obviously take a couple of days off, kind of reset the mind, like get the head back in the right place, and really come out swinging and try and slap on some good tissue. So with that being said, we shall see you tomorrow for chest.